Welcome to South Asia Maps. This is your presenter J. Reddy at South Asia Maps, which is a intellectual Kshatriya channel. It's an educational channel for articulation of Indian heritage and culture. I bring you most of the time South Asian knowledge, geography, heritage, culture, and so on to my audience in the form of maps, that is iconographic form. Once a while I take a detour or small digression and put the other things also into the context so that our audience will be more articulate, you are well informed. Today's topic of discussion is Pars Pro Toto. This is a Latin word. Historically, Latin and Greek are the ancient languages like Sanskrit in Bharat. Pars Pro Toto means a part, a small part, is used synonymously to represent a bigger part. It's like if you have a human being, you have a head, legs, and all those things. Suppose if you use a hand itself to represent a human being, that becomes a part for the totem. Before we get into the topic, if you are following my channel and enjoyed our intellectual presentations for the articulate audience, with immaculate maps, diagrams, and pictures I am bringing to you, please go and subscribe South Asia Maps J. Reddy, our YouTube channel, and you will be notified as and when I add the new presentations. I already had more than 90 presentations for quenching your intellectual curiosity on various topics of South Asia. We have a large number of playlists, almost a dozen playlists I added for you. The world geography, under which today's topic will be presented, a playlist, historical leaders, rivers and mountains in India, about Jammu and Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, the Maratha Empire, the treaties and battles in India, and musings, that means reflections, special ideas on partition of Bharat and so on, the fascinating mighty Vijayanagara Empire of Deccan, and railway history in India and districts of India, and outside the Radcliffe line, the districts of Pakistan, Bangladesh, the Punjab history and historic Punjab region, the land of Sher-e Punjab, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and the Congress party, which is a denationalized Hindu hostile Islamic party under decline in India, the current Rajaniti politics, Deccan region, south of Satpura and Vindhya mountains, India under imperialism, like Islam, which is very hostile ideology for Hindus and native people, and Christianity, which is a cunningly very subversive and conversion-based ideology, and Mughal Empire, and miscellaneous topics that doesn't fit any of these, and Hyderabad, Deccan, and Nizams, the central provinces, Madhya Bharat or Madhya Pradesh, the fascinating land of Kerala, the historic Bombay Presidency, historic Madras Presidency, and so on, nearly dozen playlists, and as we proceed, I will add many more. Coming back to the today's presentation, Pars Pro Totem. That is the fancy way of telling part is used for totem. Part is used for total. In the Latin, a part is taken for a whole in a figurative speech, that is pars pro toto. Happens in very normal conversations, and this topic will enlighten you what your presenter is talking about, what it actually represents. That is the point I am trying to make and bring this knowledge to my audience. Excuse me. When people talk about Austria, most of the time, the Austria is a small country now. Most of the time, the Austria covers the Alps region and the Danube River region. It is a German-speaking country. There are 3 German-speaking countries, that is Germany, Bavaria, and most of Switzerland speaks German language, and Austrians speak German language. In fact, the important popular German leader Adolf Hitler comes from Austria itself. When people talk about Austria, sometimes the Austro-Hungarian Empire is a bigger area. Austro-Hungarian Empire has Germans, Hungarians, it has Czechs, it has Slovaks, it has Poles, Ruthenians, Romanians, some Ukrainians, Serbians and Croats and Slovenes. That is a Habsburg Empire. That is a contemporary to German Empire. Both of them were dismantled or dismembered, unraveled after World War I. At that time, they used the word Austria, the Empire of Austria, that is a part. Austria is a part, for the bigger part is, the total is Austro-Hungarian Empire. It is a dual empire. There is a capital at Vienna and the capital in the Austrian region. That is, the Austro-Hungarian Empire is the total. Hungary, that is, here you can see Hungary. Austro-Hungarian Empire is a dual empire. Austria is only a part of that Austro-Hungarian Empire. A part, Austria is used to represent a total. That is Hungarians, Czechs, Slovaks, and Romanians, and Ukrainians, and Silesians, Slovenes, and Croatians, Serbs, etc. That is a parse used. Austria is a parse used, that is used for a totem called Austro-Hungarian Empire. Sometimes people use Denmark. There used to be a kingdom called Kingdom of Denmark and Norway. You have a Denmark here, is the Jutland Peninsula, northern part of Germany. When they use Norway and kingdom, there was a Danish kingdom, Denmark and Norway. Later Norway separated from that, and at that time they used the word Denmark, Kingdom of Denmark, for Denmark is only one part, a parse for the totem of Kingdom of Denmark and Norway. Parse is Denmark, totem is the Kingdom of Denmark and Norway. In the Gulf countries, the people used Abu Dhabi or Dubai for United Arab Emirates. If you go to the Gulf in the Middle East, that is the Persian Gulf here, this is the United Arab Emirates. That is a country adjoining Oman and adjoining the Qatar and the Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. There are nearly more than half a dozen emirates. Means emirates are small kingdoms. Abu Dhabi is one, Dubai is one, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, and so on. When people use, that means Abu Dhabi is a part, Dubai is a part, but a well-known part. When they called Dubai, that is a parse, people use for the entire Emirates. UAE, that means a parse, a part called Dubai, a small part of Emirates. Again a parse, a part, small part of Emirate is used for the totem or total is United Arab Emirates. A part Dubai or Abu Dhabi is used to represent the totem, pars pro totem. And people use sometimes the Bosnia, a country, to represent two important regions. Actually, the name of the country is now Bosnia-Herzegovina. That is the totem. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country, used to be part of Yugoslavia before. Yugoslavia means southern part of Slovak country. That is, this is the Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia is only a part of a country called Bosnia-Herzegovina. So pars, Bosnia is used to represent a totem called Bosnia-Herzegovina. That is the pars used for Toto. A pars called Bosnia represents a totem, Toto, called Bosnia-Herzegovina. Next, a part called England represents Great Britain and the United Kingdom. I had made whole bigger presentation of this. You can look at it my playlist. In brief, what it is, there are 4 countries here: the England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. All these countries are called United Kingdom. There is a bigger island called Great Britain, that has England, Wales, Scotland, and there is other smaller island called Ireland, that has a Northern Ireland and Irish Republic. The term England is used to represent a Great Britain, that has 3 countries: Wales, England and Scotland. A part England is used to represent a totem called Great Britain. Sometimes, most of the time in the world, people say the English rule the whole planet Earth in many parts. But it's not, that means what they are telling is not the residents of the country called England, but they are telling of the residents came from the island called British Isles, that has a Great Britain on this side and Irish Island in this side. That is Great Britain, Northern Ireland, and Irish Republic was also part of the Union before it seceded round about 1922. A part called England used for the totem called Great Britain, and a part called England also used for a totem called British Isles. That is part per totem. That means England, a small part, is used for the totem called Great Britain, that is a bigger island, one of the 2 of the British Isles, and it's also used for the United Kingdom, that is 4 countries, and sometimes England is also synonymously used for the entire British Isles, that is 2 islands, Great Britain and island called Ireland. The term Holland is used to represent a bigger country called Netherlands. Here I have given that in detail. You will get a good idea. Holland is a low-lying country. That means much of the country is in the low-lying region. It has many provinces or states. We have a northern Holland here, southern Holland here, Utrecht here, Zederland here, Drenthe here, Groningen and Friesland and northern Brabant and Zeeland. These are all provinces. Holland is only one province among the many provinces. The entire country is called Netherlands. Nether means below, because much of the country is below the main sea level. The dikes are built here that prevents the water coming inundating. That's why the country is called Netherlands. A part called Holland, that is one of the many provinces in that country, is used for a totem called Netherlands. So, pars pro toto. A part Holland is used for a total country called Netherlands, part Pro Toto. Then we go into Java, Sumatra, Indonesia. Java, Sumatra, Indonesia. Excuse me for my allergies. And Java, Sumatra, Indonesia. We have a Java, Sumatra, Indonesia. Sumatra is a very big island, and you have Peninsula Malaysia, and this is the Strait of Malacca. Across a country called Singapore sits. That is a small country, is an island country, across a strait called Johor Strait. Across the strait there is a province called Johor, that is the part of Malaysia. Malaysia also has some other part like Sabah, Sarawak in the Borneo island. The point here is Sumatra is a part of Indonesia. This is Indonesia is archipelago, means group of islands. Remember, British Isles is an archipelago. It has many islands, like Great Britain is a one big island. Ireland is a big island, Hebrides and Orkneys, Shetland, all those things. That is archipelago. But Indonesia is a bigger archipelago. Sumatra is only one island. And the most important region is island of Java, which is the heartland of Indonesia. Nearly 80% of the population of Indonesia are Javanese, are in Java. You have Banten here, East Java here. Next is, it was used to be a Hindu country. Still a lot of their names are Hindu. Their bank is called Garuda. Their airlines is called Garuda. Their bank used to be called Kubera. Lot of names, Sukarno, Suputro, and there are Sanskrit names. There is a Bali, still is a Hindu island in Indonesia. So there are many islands in the archipelago of a country called Indonesia. Sumatra, Java, and Borneo, Celebes, and are only few among them. So the point here is, even though Java is a part of Indonesia, small part, it is used synonymous with Indonesia. That is a part, that is pars pro toto. Part Java or Sumatra, sometimes used as substitute for a bigger part, Indonesia. Next we go to Peru, Inca Empire, one viceroyalty of Peru. Peru is a South American country. It was an independent country, once a flourishing Inca Empire used to there. The Spanish occupied it and immediately converted entire, dethroned the local emperor and converted into a Christian country. Very little the native culture survives, struggling because the Christian imperialism. That time Peru, which is now a country, is synonymously used for a bigger part called Inca Empire. That is the Bolivia here, the Bolivia, this is the Peru. Bolivia, Ecuador, parts of Colombia, entire area is Inca Empire. When the Spaniards conquered the country, they made a wider country called Viceroyalty of Peru. Later all the countries in this area called Viceroyalty of Peru. Now the Peru is only one country. Peru, the country, a small country, a part of South America, is used synonymous for a bigger area called Inca Empire and a bigger former Spanish colony called Viceroyalty of Peru. That is about the Peru. Peru is used a small part for a bigger Inca Empire, bigger region, Viceroyalty of Peru. Patagonia is a region that is used for a bigger Chile and Argentina. Historically, if we go back to the same, this region is called Patagonia. That overlaps here Argentina, here Chile. This is the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Sometimes the region Patagonia is used as a substitute for Argentina, substitute for Chile. Even though Patagonia is only one small part, south of Columbia River. There is also Columbia River in the United States. There is also Columbia River here. South of Columbia is a arid region, semi-arid region called Patagonia. that is only a small part of entire country called Argentina or Chile, but that small part, Patagonia, is used for a totem called Argentina or Chile. That is the pars Pro Toto. Part is used for a total. Then we look at what is called Newfoundland and Labrador. You go to North America, this is Canada, north of 49th parallel here, 48th parallel, and Canada has many provinces are called states, subdivisions of the country. Here this is the Newfoundland island. It's an island that is a bigger area, a province called Newfoundland and Labrador. Labrador is this region. When you say the Newfoundland, that represents not only Newfoundland, the entire province, that also includes the mainland of Canada called Labrador. There is an important dog breed that comes from this area, Labrador dog. So a part, Newfoundland, is used for a totem called Newfoundland and Labrador. That is about Newfoundland, a parse used pro for a totem total called Newfoundland and Labrador. Sometimes the Poland is used as a substitute for Polish-Lithuanian Republic. We look at what is Polish-Lithuanian Republic. We are in the European mainland. This is the Great Plains of Europe. This is a Poland. This is the country called Poland, Germany here, and we have a Baltic republics here is a Poland. There is a Lithuania. Roundabout before the rise of Napoleon, there is a very big country called Polish-Lithuanian Republic that was simply called Poland at that time. That spanned from the Baltic Ocean to almost Black Sea. It also got a area called Ukraine, Moldavia, Lithuania, Belarusia, all those things. So a part Poland used for the totem of Polish-Lithuanian Republic. That's why it is called a pars for totem. A part Poland is now a small country used for the entire big kingdom called Polish-Lithuanian Kingdom or Commonwealth. Prussia is used for a German empire. This region is called Pomerania, where there is a small dog breed called Pomeranian dog comes from. This is Pomerania, Pomeranian coast. This area is historically called Prussia. And Germany has many other areas, the Bavaria, the Westphalia, and Schleswig-Holstein, all those areas. Prussia was one among them. Austria was also one among them, German-speaking areas. Later, Prussia became very big and conquered all these kingdoms annexed. That's why sometimes the Prussia, not Russia, Prussia is synonymously used for German Empire. German Empire collapsed after the World War because they lost the war against the Britain and France, so it dismembered. That's why even though Germany is a bigger part, the Prussia is a small part of the entire empire. Prussia is used as a Prussia, even the smaller part, used to represent the bigger part, German Empire. Then we talk about the Russia is used to represent the Soviet Union. This is well known, and this is a very interesting thing, and I will discuss this in little more detail for my audience. So you have a Soviet Union here, right? In 1977 or so, Soviets moved their tank across Amudarya River. That means they crossed the international border, occupied Afghanistan. At that time, media said Russia occupied Afghanistan. It's not the Russia, it is the Soviet Union that moved the troops in Russia. So, Soviet Union or Russian Empire has a lot of other historical regions. These are the Turanian regions or Muslim republics, Muslim region. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan here, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. All of them are close to Afghania. There is a Hindu Kush mountain here. They are just across the Jammu and Kashmir princely state that was ruled by Maharaja Ari Singh, who acceded to the Indian domain in 1947, signed the instrument of accession. But pusillanimous Congress leaders couldn't keep the entire territory. They just gave it to few months before they gave 5 Subas provinces: West Punjab, Sindh, Baluchistan, Frontier Province, Purbi Bengal, when the Islamic gangsterism declared a jihad holy war in Calcutta, Naukali, Rawalpindi, Kohat. The cowardice Congress leadership was totally benumbed, and they didn't even fight it, give them and come back. They took a bigger mask called Ahimsa and all those nonsensical things for their cowardice. That is a different story. So the point is, Jammu and Kashmir is such a vital strategic area that was just a few kilometers across the Soviet Union. Only Badakhshan or Wakhan corridor separated the princely state from the Russian territory, Soviet territory. That is a very historical, the political movement called Rajniti, great game. Our point here is 5 Muslim republics here across Amu River, Amu Darya River, and we have 3 other republics in the Caucasus Mountains: Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia. This is the Caspian Ocean. We have across the Baltic Ocean, we have 3 republics: Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. You have Norway, Sweden, Finland, Carolina here somewhere. St. Petersburg will somewhere here. Then we have the other Slavic republics: Belarusia, Ukraine, and Moldavia, that is Bessarabia. That means essentially we have 15 or so republics. So Russia is only one among them. Even though Russia is one among them, the term Russia, that is a small parts, was used for a big totem called Soviet Union. Part is used for a total. Part Russia is used for a total called Soviet Union. Parts Russia used as a pro for toto called Soviet Union. That is the most important part you have to remember. Before Soviet Union, that is the communists took over, overthrowing the Tsar dynasty or Romanov dynasty. There was a Russian Empire. Again, the Russian Empire almost has the same thing. It's called Russian Empire. Later, under communist control, they changed the name called Soviet Union, made them republics or something, a different nomenclature. The same thing, Russian Empire has many republics. The entire thing was a bigger one. Russia is only a small part of it. A part used for a totem. That is Russia used for a Soviet Union bigger. Prussia, a small part used for a German Empire bigger. And Turkey is used for a bigger part, Ottoman Empire. We will go and look at Turkey. This is the Anatolian region of Turkey. This is the Kurdish region. This is the Lake Van here, and Cyprus, and this is a Thrace. That means there is a Bosphorus Strait. There is a Turkey, capital is Ankara. This is the important Turkish center here. Turkey is only one part. This is Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Empire, Ottomanali Empire. That is a Bulgaria, Thrace, Greece, Macedonia, and entire Serbia, and parts of Romania, Moldavia, Ukraine, and Crimea, and this is Hungary. And Russians Ottoman Turks even tried to annex Austria, but they failed 2 times. So the entire region, when they used the Turkey, that is, and in addition to that, Ottoman Empire also got the Levant. It called Hejaz, it has Assi, Al-Hassa, it has Basra, Baghdad, Mosul, all these areas, Egypt once upon a time. Even though Turkey is only one part, small part, that is generally used. Turk or Turkey means represents the entire Ottoman Empire. That is the part used for totem. That is the Turkey, the historic Bosphorus Strait. You can see the Istanbul here along the water body. That is the part, Turkey, is used to represent the entire Ottoman Empire. Then sometimes the Rome, even the small part, small city, represents the entire, the Catholic establishment Rome, because they have a lot of headquarters. Their entire job is dethrone the national heritage and culture, convert the local people in their ideology that is masked as a religion, conversion based ideology, dethroning the native civilizations. They were successful to dethrone all the pagan European religions, and Estonia was the last country around about 1300 is converted to Christianity, and it was used as essentially imperialistic ideology, which I discussed through the works of Mahayogi Sri Ram Swarupji, Sitaram Goyalji, and Acharya Professor Coinrod Elst somewhere. That is, sometimes the Rome, a small city and a district and a region, represents the entire Roman Catholic Empire and their domination. And Vietnam is a country, a small part, represents sometimes entire French Indo-Chinese region. This entire French Indo-Chinese region is here. Excuse me. This is Indochina. This is ruled by the Dutch people. Later it got independence. Vietnam is a part of this, French. The French ruled this area. The French area. The Vietnam, French Indochina. Even though Vietnam is only one part of this French part, French colony, Laos and Cambodia were also there. Vietnam is used as a substitute for French Indochina. Even though Vietnam is only a small part of bigger Indochina. That is, a small part Vietnam is used to represent a bigger French Indochina that includes Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and so on. Sometimes the South Pole is used for Antarctica. We have a South Pole here, right? This is the South Pole is somewhere here, the South Pole. Right? And the entire area is called Antarctica. It's a frozen island. It's an island, a desert, a cold desert that is around about 14 million square kilometers. That's bigger than Europe, almost 2 times the surface area of the island country continent Australia. Australia is around about 7 million square kilometers. Antarctica is double that. Antarctica is a bigger area. South Pole is only a small part of it. Sometimes when they say South Pole, they are talking about the entire bigger region, Antarctica. South Pole, that is a pars, is used for a totem called Antarctica. Sometimes the country Trinidad used for a Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is in South American continent across Venezuela. Here this is a country called Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad is only a small part, Trinidad here, and across a few kilometers there is another island called Tobago. Here this is the Tobago island. Sometimes when you say the Trinidad, they are using this island Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad represents Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad is a pars, a small part of a bigger country, totem called Trinidad and Tobago. That means that Trinidad is used to represent Trinidad and Tobago. Then Monte Carlo segment is used to represent Monaco country. Monaco is a country in Mediterranean Ocean. It is a French speaking area, a small tiny country. Monaco is a small tiny country. We go here, that's the Monaco, you see here. Country itself is so small, it's like even not a part of village also. On that Monaco, there is a small part called Monte Carlo. is like a subdivision. If you have an Hyderabad city, imagine that is a Monaco. In that Hyderabad, you go to Kukatpalli or Amirpet or Rajendra Nagar are a small segment of a bigger city called Hyderabad. Suppose if you use Charminar as a substitute for Hyderabad, it's the same thing. Monte Carlo is a segment and Monaco is a country, small country, a miniature country. So, Monte Carlo is sometimes used as substitute for the country. It's not even a part, it's a segment. The entire country is so tiny. So that is Monte Carlo is used for represent Monaco. Hindustan is sometimes used for India. I will make a bigger video. What is India? What is Hindustan? What is a Bharat? What is Akhand Bharat? What is a Hindu nation? There is a difference. There is a subtlety. If you understand that, you will understand what Mekalaism, what is the entire concept of supporting the Hindu nationalism for the British. British ruled India through Indology, conquering your mind, changing your mindset, conditioning you, taking to the British universities, now almost English education, and planted different ideas, social ideas in the minds. When the people came out of that, they just conditioned to think like that. Whereas the Muslims earlier ruled by sword. So Hindus were very stubborn, resistant, fought heroically against the Muslim conquerors, invaders, swordsmen of Islam until Marathas and Sikhs. Whereas the congressmen didn't fight like that, like the Jats or Sikhs or Marathas. The one reason is they were conditioned so much, they start thinking in a British way, except with minor differences. That is called Mekalaism. Mahayogi Sri Ram Swarup ji and intellectual Kshatriya Sitaram Goyal ji and Coenrad Elst doctrined it so well in their intellectual Voice of India think tank doctrinal views. I will not go into that at this point. Our current context is the difference between Hindustan and India. India is a general term, is an anglicalized term. That means if you go to my village, my parents who never went to any school, they doesn't know anything. Even they don't know what is India. When you start this country, traditionally in the ancient literature is called Bharat. Bharata Varsha, ruled by a very powerful king Bharat, named after him Bharata Varsha. India is an anglicized name for that. If you go to country called Egypt, people doesn't use that word Egypt in there. They call it Misr. Misr is the country. Outside world calls it Egypt. Deutschland, Almania is the country. Outside world called it Germany. Because we most of the time read from that type of literature history that is anglicized, we start calling it Germany. Even if you go to that, even that country, people may identify themselves Germans or Germany. But that is not the local name. The same name here. The point here is the religion, it was the Sindhu river, Indus river, Sindhu. Persians pronounce it as Hind river or Sindh river. And Europeans took that term and used this synonymous to Indus, then India. In Vasco da Gama, all these people start knowing, they call the country India. Persians called the country Sindh or Hind, and they later used the term Stan, Hindustan. Any person, Muslim invaders who came to India across the Khyber Pass used the name Hindustan. That most of the time they ruled north of Vindhya, Satpura mountains. Excuse me. We have Hindu Kush mountains here, Kandahar here, Kabul here, Jalalabad, Khyber Pass, Jamrad, Peshawar Valley, and cross the Potowar, Rawalpindi. Then you have all the doves, and you go to Satluj River, and you have a Malwa area, Ludhiana, Ambala, Panipat, Delhi, on this in the Punjab plains, Indus plain, Gangetic Delta. This region, when Muslims conquered, their chroniclers called this Hindustan. That means this is the historic region. Northern India is generally called Hindustan. But as we progressed earlier, that Hindustan is used as synonymous for the entire country called Bharat. That Anglicized version after the British took over, the term India is used. That contains Hindustan, that contains Bengal, and most important, that contains other important geographical entity called Deccan. That is again a modified version of Dakshina, Sanskrit word for south. Uttara means north, Dakshina is south, Dakshin region is Deccan. So, Bharat is a Deccan or Dakshinavata, Aryavarta or Uttarapada, Dakshinapada, Deccan and North India. The North India is synonymously used for Hindustan. Hindi and variant languages like Pashto, Punjabi, Malvi and Braj Bhasha and Awadhi and Maithili, and mutually varying linguistic continuum and dialectical continuum from Pashtun to Bengali speaking areas, Hindustan. And this is Deccan. So, the term Hindustan, even though a small part of India, is used for the total bigger area called Bharat or Anglicized version India, even though Hindustan is just a small part compared to India. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Pars pro toto means a part is used for total. When people in normal conversations talk about it, you have to keep the nuances of it. Essentially, we talked about Austria, a small part used for Austro-Hungarian Empire, and Denmark, a small part used for the Kingdom of Denmark and Norway, a small part called Dubai or Abu Dhabi used for the Trucial States or United Arab Emirates, a small part called Bosnia is used for Bosnia and Herzegovina, a small part called England is used for Great Britain, United Kingdom or British Isles, a small part called Holland is used for Netherlands, a small part island of Java is used for Indonesia, a Peru used for Inca Empire, Patagonia, a small arid region in South America used for Chile and Argentina, Newfoundland, an island is used for a bigger province, Newfoundland Labrador, a country, small country, Poland is used for a bigger republic or kingdom, Polish-Lithuanian Republic, small region, kingdom, Prussia is used for the entire German Empire, small region, republic, Russia is used for the entire Russian Empire or Soviet Union, small area, Turkey is for the entire Ottoman Empire, small area, Rome is used for the entire Roman Empire as well as the later Roman Catholic imperialism, small country, Vietnam is used for the entire Indochina, that is Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, small South Pole is used for the entire bigger 14 million square kilometers Antarctica, that is 2 times the size of Australia. Small region, Trinidad Island is used for a country called Trinidad Tobago, small segment Monte Carlo used for Monaco, small North Indian region, north of Vindhyas and Satpuras, Hindustan is used to represent the entire India. And I forgot to tell a very important region, Yugoslavia. This you get many times. Slavic people are the people like Russians, Belarusians, Ukrainians, and all these people, Polish, are Slavic people. They speak Slavic languages. That's the Northern Slavic, Western Slavic. Polish are Slavic, Czech are Slavic, Slovenes are Slavic, and Southern Slavics are Yugoslav. Yugo means south, Yugoslavia. There is a country we called 20 years back or so, country called Yugoslavia. That center around Serbia, Croatia. When they say Serbia, they represent the entire Yugoslavia, Serbia, Croatia. You look at it. So it was dismembered recently, and there are a lot of other countries. Yugoslavia represents Slovenia country, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia, and Bulgaria. All this region is Yugoslavia. When there sometimes Serbia is used, Serbia is now an independent country, that is a Kosovo, that is a Montenegro. When there's Serbia, there's only one part of Serbia, Kosovo, Montenegro also represents a bigger country called Serbia. Serbia that includes this small part Serbia used for a bigger region. Small part called Macedonia, there is a country also represents this Macedonia in a part of Greece. Originally Alexander came from Macedonia. Macedonia is not a Greece, but a Greek culture used to be at that time. It's called Greek, but actually it's a Macedonian. And I also forgot to mention about this is Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, formerly a bigger country, that is a Bohemia, that is a Moravia, Slovakia. When they call Bohemia a very small part, they meant entire Czech Republic, that is a Bohemia and Moravia, at that time Slovakia. So when there's a Bohemia is only a small part of the bigger country, Czech Republic now, or Czechoslovakia. That is the parts Pro Toto. I hope this puts you in the proper context. This is your presenter at South Asia Maps Reddy. If you continue to enjoy my presentations, friends, mitrom and bandhuvam, I really appreciate you subscribing and making our channel popular with your friends. I will see you later in other presentation.